The government got itself in a right old tangle on all of this today, so let me try to explain it clearly. Last autumn, they set out their plans for new sanctions on Russia, and this week they have implemented those sanctions, but they have watered them down relative to what they announced back in the autumn because of what has changed since the conflict in the Middle East and the fear around the supply and price of things like diesel and jet fuel with the summer holidays ahead. All of it posing a big moral question. Have they made the right call?
Russian oil. When is it justified to buy it, given the war in Ukraine? Sanctions on Moscow continue to ratchet up, but they're not ratcheting up as much as originally planned.
Up until now, the UK has never sanctioned refined oil products from Russia. We are doing that from today for the very first time. In some areas, we are phasing that in because of the market instability that there is at that.
By market instability, he means this: war in the Middle East, choking off the Strait of Hormuz, making it harder and more expensive to import fuel. But where does it leave the UK's long-standing ally, Ukraine? The country's sanctions commissioner said the new measures overall significantly tighten restrictions, but added, our concern relates specifically to temporary exemptions that may still generate additional revenues for Russia's war machine. Tonight, President Zelensky said, rather diplomatically, that this issue is very sensitive and we conveyed our signals to London. The Conservatives seized on Ukraine's concerns.
He is now choosing to buy dirty Russian oil. That money will be used to fund the killing of Ukrainian soldiers. Isn't he ashamed?
The Prime Minister was exasperated and hit back.
To play party politics on Ukraine, where we have stood firm, and the only people that benefit when we play party politics in here on Russia and Ukraine is Putin.
Earlier, Ukraine itself had appeared to misunderstand what the UK was planning, and they weren't the only ones. I'm sorry, said the minister responsible.
We've handled this clumsily, and that's entirely my fault, and I apologise to all honourable members. I think we've ended up giving the wrong impression of what we're trying to do. We're trying to strengthen the regime, not weaken it.
Ministers are dealing with a tricky trade-off, trying to make sure there's enough jet fuel for our summer holidays, while trying to be as tough as they can be on Russia. Not easy.
And a postscript to all of this tonight, a phone call between the President Zelensky and the Prime Minister, I think trying to patch things up, and warm public words issued by both sides in the last hour. You know, the oddity today, that there was a curious, ongoing, repeated unwillingness for ministers and officials to explicitly spell out what they were actually doing and why. I think because they were so nervous about being accused of going soft on Russia. The bigger picture here, Jane, is that announcement that we'll get tomorrow from the Chancellor of the Exchequer. She'll be in the Commons late in the morning. They're trying to make the case that they get the impact of ongoing cost of living pressures for millions and millions of people, and a recognition of how things might get tougher because of what we've been seeing in the Middle East.